Record channel participants.
You're live. You're live.
We're live. Welcome to the Community Services Commission meeting, July 28th, 2021. Could we have a roll call, please? Maria, will you take the roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Clark?
Here.
Commissioner Kopp?
Here.
Commissioner Martin?
Here.
Commissioner Menes?
Here.
Commissioner Hayda?
Here.
And Commissioner Teller?
Here.
And I have Commissioner Ricketts absent today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for our last meeting, July 28th. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Could I have a second, please?
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, next item is citizens to be heard. Any public comments, please? Do we have any citizens to be heard for this meeting?
No, we do not.
Okay, so we'll move on to reviewing old business. 2021 events dumps today. We've had one, which was very successful, and there'll be another one scheduled October. And again, I want to thank Pete Murray and Roy Swearingen for coming out and helping us again. Awesome. I think it was very successful. Are there any comments about dumps today? So our format's working.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm in a meeting right now.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
It went well, Laurel, as always. I'm glad we got to put the event on, and I'm glad we're doing 2 this year. Double the fun.
Yes. Okay, coastal cleanup, September 18th.
Sorry, Laurel, before we move on, can I interrupt you just to give a few updates on the next event?
Okay, sure.
So I did send over, and the flyer was attached for the October dumpster day event. As we're meeting next month, and it won't give us much time. So I wanted to know if the commissioners had any comments, or if we could move forward with the flyer for the event.
I think we can move forward. I don't know if anyone has any things to change on the flyer or anything. I think it looks great.
Fire looks great to me.
I don't have a problem with it.
Flyer seems fine to me.
Thank you, Maria.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I will start to distribute the flyer via the city's communication channels, and I'll upload it to the city website. It'll be shared also through Nextdoor and Patch. And if there are any other suggestions where we should share the flyer, please let me know. And we will update the lawn signs that were used for the summer event with the new date. And once those are ready, I'll coordinate with Bob, since he's helped us put those out in the community. And then I'll also get the coffee donation request over to Starbucks in the next few weeks, and that way we can get that going, and then we can discuss again any final logistics at our next meeting. But it will follow the same format. I did confirm with Republic, and they were also happy with how smooth they went, and they want to follow the same format for October.
And it was very helpful having additional staff from Republic this year. Very helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we okay to move on to coastal cleanup then?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions or comments about the upcoming coastal cleanup? You're
going to have cooking at we're going to have hamburgers, not like we've had for the last 20-something years.
Any comments?
Too dangerous with the Delta variant.
So, so there won't be any barbecuing. How many people do you expect to, attend based on, the lapse from last year, and then, the way that we're going to kind of promote it?
I think in 2019 we had about 100 participants, 150. I can't remember the exact number right now. I have promoted it through all of the city's communication channels. I did get it out to the schools. It was uploaded to their Peach Jar system that distributes, the virtual flyer to all of the families. It's gone up on Nextdoor, on the Patch. So it's hard to tell. I did speak with the group from Interact this week, and they're interested in participating. So they'll have a group of students that will come over and volunteer as well. So it's hard to know. I know the variant has made some people a little bit more cautious. I'm not sure how many people we will get to participate in general, but we can maybe base it on our numbers that we've had before, Pete. And I know you guys have, more experience with what the crowds have been like before.
I have one comment. A while ago, Kibby from Pinole High School contacted me about volunteer hours. This is before the end of the school year. So I think we should touch base with him to make sure that the students know they can do community service hours. And then we'll need letters signed from the city to provide those community service hours to verify. I know I usually do that.
Okay.
Yes, I did send an email to Principal Kibbe this week as well, and their Interact teacher, and they said that they were interested, and I asked them to also share it, that we did share it with through Peach Jar, but also, if there was any other channels that they could share it with through the school, it'd be a good opportunity for volunteer hours. So it is out to them, and supplies also will be picked up by Public Works. So we're set on that, and as far as supplies that will be needed. And I see Debbie has her hand up.
Yes, I wanted to ask, we used to have them work, and we made them up little strips that said folks could donate to their club if they would like. And we did that, and it was helpful, I think, for their club, and it was nice that the participants have some couple of dollars to help out with. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Raphael, so you have your hand up?
Yeah, so I think just replying to the earlier question, I'd expect that we probably have somewhere between 50 and 100 people show up, because we still had around normal turnout for Dumpster Day. And while coastal cleanup is more involved than Dumpster Day is, I'd expect there are probably a lot of people who want to, get out and do volunteer events in the community. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we had a sizable number of people there.
I think, Laurel, I also had an additional comment. The city clerk will attend the event, and she did say that she'll have certificates of completion if those are needed. So she'll have those available, and she said she will help us set up for the event and will help with check-in process. She was there at the last event as well. Right. So she'll be there to support us. There was another item that I wanted to bring up to the group. I was talking with Paula White from the Coastal Cleanup Commission, and she said that before there's some kind of data collection that is done during the event, and she said that the data sheets will be put in our supplies for us to share with the participants and encourage them to complete the information. And there's also a clean swell app that they're also using in combination with those sheets. So they'll include that in our supply. That was new to me, but it could have been that you all had done that before. So she did share that information with me. And just some items I think to consider is, I know normally we have one check-in process, one check-in station with the supplies. Do we want to set up 2 different stations to kind of help with the crowds and the groups that are coming, or what your thoughts are? And I see Pete has his hand up.
Well, 3 things now, but I'll go backwards. I think you need one station, one person that, or a group of people, maybe 3 people, signing people up, because there'll be different interests. You'll have, like scouts, and then you'll have the high school group, and then you'll have, just normal everyday people, and you can kind of get them in line to sign up, and then that way you can get them out. Nothing worse than having people standing there getting antsy about the whole thing, and and then you start, what do you want to call it? Commenting. Let's put it that way. Just commenting, and you want to get them while they're excited about it, in, signed up, supplies, and then out. As fast as you can. The thing about it is identifying areas that really need servicing, and so we can send people in the right direction. Now, going back to the request from the coastal cleanup people about filling out all that paperwork, you better figure out an 8-hour day to figure out to do all that paperwork. I never did it because it's too onerous. What I did is I did the main things that they were interested in, and that was how many tons, which is based on the yards of material that went into the dumpster, and then how much recyclables that we gathered, and I turned that information into them. But to break it down to sharps, needles, pieces of gum wrappers, and so on and so forth, that's just too onerous to do. And then you got to have people out there with pencils and paper, and I would suspect that after doing the event, you'd be out there collecting the pencils and papers from around the city, where they got fell out of people's hands or dropped or whatever, and making their own litter. So to me, it just seemed like that was a futile thing to do. I went with the major things, and they've always been happy with that. So getting down to the nickels and dimes, and and bubble gum, and things like that you pick up, no, that's too much.
Okay, perfect.
And what was the first thing I was thinking about? If you want other commodities like maybe breakfast rolls or something like that in the morning, and a cup of coffee, get them all sugared up so that they're out there running. I got Jim Tillman would, if he gets a letter from the city, saying that he's approved to seek donations, he'd go in and get donations of breakfast rolls and donuts and things like that for people. So that's something to consider, and he's willing to do it. So that's kind of like a freebie, So he just needs that letter. And if you're interested, if you're not interested in it, then I'll just tell him, no, Jim, we're not going to do that.
Okay. I did send a request to Heather, and she was looking for a template. She said that we would be able, if the commission wanted to move forward with getting donations from the community, we could do that. We also do have a small budget, so if the commission wanted to purchase, additional fruit or something to have, or granola bars or something for the volunteers to take with them, that is another option. It's for you all to decide, and I can send a request to Starbucks as well for coffee. I believe they donated before, so I can ask them as well.
Yeah, that's all good. Well, like I say, it's nice to get the businesses, participating as well, so we can thank them at the end, or put something up that states it's from donated by Starbucks, or whatever. Okay. It ties them to doing the ecology aspect of it.
Pete, when you referred to the registration, I know in the past, and we should do it again, we've had separate, even signs like for specific groups, and then just community people, and then, it just makes it easier.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was just thinking that you said that about the signs. Maybe if we have the tent up, you just put it, let's say there's 3 stations, we just make a handwritten sign that says what it is right above each station, and then people can figure that out for themselves, and
Sure.
And that might work out really good.
Okay.
Can I just say that when I said that we'll let the participants tip the kids, I thought we were back into dumpster day, and we're clearly into coastal cleanup, so forgive me.
And Maria, I quite like the idea of, as we have done in the past, a bottle of water and a granola bar or something is pretty nice. Will we have little bags again?
We don't have bags this year. I know we've done it for our Community Services Day. I don't know if we'll be able to get bags
Okay, all right.
ready by coastal cleanup, but we can definitely put out some granola bars. I know water will be donated as well, and Pete has offered to help, to pick up that water. I'm just waiting for the donation vouchers to come in the mail. And Rubio's will also be providing vouchers for free chips and guacamole that will be given to the participants, so we can include that in the packet as well.
Now that Rubio's thing, if I may, Maria, that's something that they will have to do on their own after the event,
Yes.
or who knows, up to a month's time or 2 months, depending on what they give as an expiration date.
Okay.
Any more comments on coastal cleanup? I hope everyone can be there. What time are we going to be there, Maria? Did we work that out? Or
No, I was actually going to ask that. Do you think 7:30 to 7:45? I anticipate we'll have more to set up for this event than we did for Dumpster Day, since we do have to set up the different stations.
It's all going to depend on when the volunteers want to get down there to set up. It takes about anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes to set up, and most people that come there are coming about 8 o'clock on their own, so that's when they start drifting in. That's been the case in the past.
So 7:15 sounds like the most logical choice of time.
Yeah. Okay, and then as I said, Maria, I have you have to get set up with the Public Works Department to get tables and chairs and those kind of things there that for people to sit on. And what else do we get from the Public Works?
Pop-ups.
Yeah, they need the pop-up tents that they have available. Like I have one here that I've got in the truck set up to bring down there, for the event and for the city. And then I have a cooler as well. And I kept those things just so that they would always be there when we had the event. So, it's time to return them to the city. So, and that's that really nice pop-up tent that you can use, I guess, for the sign-up area right there as well.
Pete, do you know how many tents we have and how many tables we would need? Is it just...
That varies from year to year. The youth events in the past, we bought tents for the coastal cleanup originally, and then they just kind of disappeared. They got beat up and all of that. I kept this tent because I paid pretty well for it, and I didn't want to see it get lost or beat up. So it's in really good shape, and it's a big 10 by 10. What the city has anymore, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Public Works does with everything.
Okay, I'll check in with them and see what we have. And I mean, I'm sure Joe, the staff from Public Works will have an idea of what has usually been set up and taken for the event. So I'll definitely send an email to him and touch base about the supplies that will be needed on the day.
Yeah, get him on board. So, he's working on it.
Yeah. Okay.
And the other issue, and I know Debbie would like a group to go to Fernandez Park, but I think quite a few people are branching out now and going into creeks and that as well as the shoreline.
Yeah, you could include that as part of the creek, walk where people go up almost to the bowling alley. And
sure,
I'm worried about the bowling alley because every now and then an encampment pops up there, and you don't want kids and going into those kind of areas. You never know what they're going to find, and maybe that's something to have the police department scan before we have the event, so that if there's people camped out there, and in the past there's been like mattress cities back there and all of that, but when the event happens, you don't want people interacting and or maybe working and then running across somebody that's somewhat irritable, if you will, and then having an issue and ruining the event for years to come. So
if I could loop back briefly to the start time for the event, if I'm recalling the flyer correctly, we said that we were starting at 9, and so we'd be starting to set up at 8:30. Am I just misrecalling?
Registration starts at 8:30 for the event, and then I think the event officially, the flyer started at 9.
Hey, there'll be people there at 7 o'clock to go out and pick because they've got soccer and all those kind of things. So, and you're not going to, dissuade them from doing that because there's a time element. So the time is a general time period.
So if we're there if we can, between 7 and 7:15, we're there if we want to catch some of the early people and sign them up. It's good for our numbers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Any more questions about this event?
So cleaning the creek area and including part of our group will do some at the park is fine, correct?
Yeah, I mean, if people, it's where the litter is being generated from, and obviously the park is one of the areas. The freeway's a biggie, but we don't want people going up on the freeway. What we should do this is how you work it, Maria. So you call the Caltrans and you tell them we're having coastal cleanup, and one of the big areas that's been identified and people want to go clean are the freeway entrances and exits. And they'll automatically tell you no. And then you say, I'm going to be hard pressed to keep them out of there unless, there's, an agreement that's going to get done, because it's, it's what we're after. And they'll tell you that they'll come and get it. So that's the beauty of that. It's kind of like just kind of squeezing a little bit on them.
Thank you.
We're going to go do it. And again, they'll get back to you and tell you, we'll get somebody out there. Because it is pretty filthy right now. And it's only been a little while since they cleaned it the last time they came through. It hasn't been all that long ago. Or I'm getting older and time just flies by. I don't know.
No, it's filthy.
But that's one way to do that. But yeah, so you assume that people would, walk the creek trail and clean out all the litter along there, but maybe branch out to get around the bowling alley and that little shopping center and collect the materials there as well.
And also down the actual creek too. Closer to the ocean, that whole area too.
Well, that's the easy one. That's
yes,
that they're going to go there. Just be ready to pull people out of the mud if they try to climb down in the creek there, because
Yeah.
it's all blue mud, and you could sink up to your waist and that stuff. So yeah, we did one year. We pulled a scout leader out, and she was stuck up to her waist, and we got a rope around her and heave ho and got her out, and she was under the shower there at the facility there for about probably a half hour, getting mud out of her clothes and and everything. But that's the other thing about that. But that and the fishing area on the Hercules side. That was what I wanted to ask. Has anybody talked to what's the council member's name over? No, not Dan. Begins with an R.
Is it Romero?
No, not Romero. It's his first name begins with an R. Anyway, he was mayor last year, but he, if they're going to try to coordinate an event at the same time we do and kind of, tie them together. Gosh darn it. I don't know. I'll come up. It'll hit me in about 10 minutes. So anyway, that's just, the other thing that I was thinking is that, we were trying to tie the two together at one time. Anyway, that's it.
Things are cleaner. I walk my dogs down there, and I do see people, including myself, that pick up stuff while they're walking.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see. I mean, last year we had people telling us that you don't have to do it because we've done it already, and it's like you do. But if I can get a dumpster full, that means you didn't get everything. So, but it's good that it's that people feel that way and are out there. The Hercules side of the creek there is where all the people fish, and they leave a lot of beer cans and fishing line, especially that gets tangled around little critters and all of that. And that's nice to go through there with a fine tooth comb and get all that stuff out of there as well.
So that's heading off past the big rock formation over there.
It's as soon as you walk around over the creek, the bridge, and over the creek to the other side there where the little park is. I think that's our park. It starts there, and then you can go all the way down to, actually go all the way down to the pier down there in Hercules, because people are fishing all along there.
Any more questions or comments about coastal cleanup? Okay. The next item on old business is Thriving Earth Exchange Project.
So sorry,
about last meeting.
Yeah, so I will fill in because Anne wanted me to express her regrets to the commission. She will not be able to join us, but she did send me some information that she wanted me to share with the group. She also wanted me to thank Raphael for reaching out to her, and for sharing the information with one of the groups that he's a part of. She said you guys are going to be participating in the project with her, so she wanted me to thank you for that. And she did want me to share with you that there are some changes to their ask for coastal cleanup. Originally, they had proposed doing a training day during the event, but she said that instead of doing a training day, they will have a table that will be set up during our event, and they will encourage the volunteers to sign up for a training date that will be offered later in October. So there won't be any training happening during the event, but there'll be an opportunity for them to learn more about the project and sign up for a training day. They're also going to have a poster available for the volunteers for them to mark and for them, where they observe more trash along the creek or what areas they saw that in. And they'll also just be collecting information for volunteers to be put on their contact list, and they'll share information with them in the future. She wanted to make sure that the commission was okay with this plan, and to share this with Pete as well before they, move forward with it.
Well, sounds great to me. they're participating and providing training later. That makes sense. Anybody else? Pete?
No, you're asking me? Yeah, no, it's always nice to have any group that's ecologically oriented, be involved in getting people's interest and maybe getting them to volunteer and become a little more proactive. Yeah, that's fine. The way I see it, anyway.
Okay, so I will let her know, and she said that she will share the event flyer with their mailing list, and if there's anything else that they can do to support with the event, to please let her know. They'll be happy to help with the event.
Great. Have we contacted or had contact with any scout groups which we've had involved in this project before with the coastal cleanup?
Yes, I did share the flyer with Tony, who's had a troop that, has been involved with, with coastal cleanup before. I also had a conversation with another local troop, and I shared with them the information, and it was something that she was going to bring back to her troop as well.
Good job. Oh, yeah, call Tony and make sure he did it.
He said he would, and he would try to get them to come over. He did say that Crockett tends to stick to their side, but he will try to promote it with the troop.
Okay.
And that's all that I have on the Thriving Earth project for now, Laurel. She will join us next month and, provide any updates and information. I also shared the Dumpster Day event with her, and I told it could possibly be another opportunity for her to share information on the training days or any other information they want to get out on their project during that event.
Okay. All right, we move on to the last item in old business, which is local schools. And this is something the commissioners have done in the past. I know, for example, I worked with Alahor School, and basically, even though the information is electronically shared, we might contact someone or take questions or anything like that with a contact at the school. Or trying to,
So I did make a list of the schools that are in Pinole, and I don't know if each commissioner wants to be assigned a school to contact. We have Collins, we have Elahorst, there's Stewart, Shannon. Those are the elementary schools, and then we have Pinole Middle School, Pinole Valley High School, and there's also St. Joseph's, which is a K-8 school. So those are some schools that are in Pinole, and if the commission wanted to, work with one school specifically to promote the events, as Laurel said, that's an option.
I'd be interested in working with Pinole Valley High School if somebody else hasn't coined that already.
I can put you down, Raphael, for that one.
and I'm happy to work with Elahorst.
Okay.
I'm closest to Shannon. This is Darren. Shannon would be good with me.
Okay. That leaves us with Collins, Stewart, Pinole Middle School, and St. Joseph. And these are schools that, you can decide which ones you want to contact.
I can do St. Joseph. I live real close to it.
Okay.
I'll do Pinole Middle if no one has taken it.
Okay.
Any other commissioners want to comment? Or?
Is there a form letter or? Oh, go ahead.
Right now, I'm too busy with the car show and some other events we're putting on for the Sheriff's Department and probably Hercules PD. So I'm tied up for some time. We're trying to get a thing set up for 9/11 for the first responders to have a lunch that we're working on right now.
Okay, I'll leave, Collins and Stewart are schools that we work with in offering classes. So it's something I know Christina, our youth coordinator from the youth center, does have some contacts. So I can possibly have her share information or put me in contact with who, the office manager is there.
That's great.
And I was going to say, do we have like a script or a form letter email to use to get in touch with these said schools? Because I've never got in contact with the school before to coordinate a coastal cleanup. So just like to have a template to follow.
Okay, I can put one together and I can look. Laura, I don't know if you guys have used something before or.
We used to go to the school office, or I know that you do everything electronic, but request, even if we have flyers, wouldn't hurt, so that we actually give them some physical flyers to distribute to the teachers. I don't know if you want to go that far. Is it necessary? But we have done that in the past.
Well, I'm saying K through 12. Yeah, well, I'm saying, K through 8, like St. Joseph. I'd probably be 6 through 8 that's actually helping out. Everyone else is kind of too young. But, I'm just wondering, okay, I'll do it. Now, how do I actually go about doing it? It'd be nice to have a template to follow. So if you just email me a sample email and maybe a flyer, that would probably be a good start.
Okay, I will do that, Nicholas. And I also do want to note that, I'm not sure if you're aware, but most of the schools right now are not taking visitors without an appointment. So if you did want to stop by a school, I would recommend that you call them beforehand. Right now they're just, because of COVID, they're limited to who is allowed on the campus.
And Maria,
that's understandable.
Do you have specific contacts at each school?
I don't have specific contacts, but I can see if we can get like emails or something. Like I know Collins and Stewart, we might have one specifically, but I'll look to see if there's just like a general office manager. I know principals are usually bombarded, or somebody who does outreach that we can contact. Then I can put that together and send it out.
Okay, great. Okay, we've come to the end of, old business. At this time, we don't have any new business. So before we adjourn, are there any specific comments from anybody?
I guess I've got one item of curiosity to ask. Maria, have you had any luck finding that draft of the city's art policy?
No, Hector does have a copy of it, but it's just a draft form, so it wasn't shared. It hasn't moved forward. But he did say that it was created a few years ago, but it's kind of in the drafts. It has not been released.
I think that as a future agenda item, it might be nice for us to have a look at even that draft to see what the ideas were, even if it wasn't finalized.
If it's a draft, he may not be able to share it with us.
May I interject? This is Pete.
Yes, please.
It seems to me that we did have a policy for art, and there's, I think, a couple examples. One is out in front of the Pinole Shores light industrial facility there where the restaurant is. There's a piece of art right there that we incorporated into the project. There was another some art that was supposed to be included in the Sprouts project, and at Kaiser as well. So we did have a policy on that, way back when we had redevelopment in particular. So that should be there and available.
Okay, I will look into that for the next meeting and I can provide an update.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria. And I want to mention, thank you, Bob, for all the work that you are doing for the community right now. And hopefully we'll all come out and support the car show, etc.
Yeah, I hope so too, because it's actually one of the biggest events that happens in the city of Pinole. It brings more money for all the small businesses downtown. And it brings in money for, last time we did it, we had a profit of like $8,400. 100% right down to the penny was split between the Explorers and Pinole TV. This year it's going to be to the senior center and Pinole TV. And I've talked to Maria and the lady at the senior center. They are going to give me a list of items that they've requested from the city that nobody's ever approved, or they approved but won't let them purchase it. So they're going to give me a list of that. I'm going to purchase it and pay for it out of the fund from the car show. Same thing for Pinole TV. I'm not going to give a check to the city. I'm going to buy what these two agencies need, and that way I know that they're going to get it and they'll be able to use it. I don't want it to be taken. What I'm scared of, I'm afraid that if we give them X number of dollars, they might deduct that from whatever the budget is for that particular part of our city, whether it's the TV station or the senior center. So I want the city to go through with all their commitments, what they promised these two groups, and this will be over and above the top of what the city is supposed to do. And that's what our committee, about 15 of us, decided that's how we wanted to do it. And that's how we're going to do it this year.
So essentially going to be gifting items to those two groups, yeah?
Whatever they give me on paper that they need that they can't get through the city, up until it's split halfway, they will get whatever we can with the amount of money that we have for the two groups. And last year, $8,000 something we gave back. There was no money saved for startups for this year or last year that we didn't have it. 100% down to the penny goes 50-50. Even the chief last year, when I gave him 2 years ago, when I gave him the check for the Explorers, he asked me how come there was change on the check. I said, because that's exactly half of what we made.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to get, just before I adjourn the meeting, I'd like to thank Pete for joining us. It was very nice to have you. So our next meeting, I'm going to adjourn the meeting in just a second, but I just want to say that the next meeting is September 22nd. So that'll be after Coastal Cleanup Day. So I am adjourning the meeting. Have a great evening.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good evening.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Oh, and